Mission Pro Wrestling, Haley approved. AML, Haley approved. Innovate Wrestling, Haley approved. Just a few of the promotions the great ring announcer Haley Ray is doing her thing in pro wrestling. She's live on Off the Top Rope Tuesday night, presented by SixPackCoverage.com. An episode with greatness when it comes to pro wrestling announcing.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury. Tyrone Asbury. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us. Just the time on the radio. My opinion's my opinion. Every time you hear me down moving out, they're on the stereo. Every podcast live.
It's Tuesday night, and you know what's going down as always. I'm your boy, Ty Asbury, and tonight I'm going to say this. It is the greatest announcement of all. The announcement is live here on the show, one of the greatest wrestling announcers going today in Mission Pro Wrestling. They actually chopped me in the chest and said, Ty, boy, it's Haley Ray. She's here live. Her first ever podcast. Haley, what's up? What's going on?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And like I just said, it's your first ever podcast. How's that feeling? And how are you doing tonight?
I'm really excited. I'm doing pretty good. It's really hot outside. So, yeah, I've had to pull out my short sleeve t-shirts again. No jackets outside anymore.
Well, first and foremost, I got to ask you, where are you located? Because, I mean, the weather is crazy. I'm here in upstate New York, so we're like short sleeves, long sleeves. So so I kind of envy you because if you got the sizzling temperatures, yeah, I'm a little jealous of you.
Yeah, I'm actually located in Bristol, Tennessee. And now like we are just getting like hot weather. So like it feels like it's probably 80 here, 80 degrees. But it's like some days are kind of cooler, some days are hotter, but here recently it's just been very hot outside, which I'm not mad about. Not mad about at all.
Ain't nothing, like I said, just keep going and going. Ain't nothing to be mad about. Now, Haley, this is your, like I said, first ever podcast, first ever appearance here on Off the Top Rope. And first and foremost, we are here for the fans. So I'm just going to drop in and ask you, right off the front, what do you want your fans to get out of this episode tonight? Because the spotlight, it's on you tonight.
Yeah, so I just want people to get to know me more. I feel like, I mean, I've been traveling a lot, and I just want people to get to know me more and to see another side of me. So,
the one I think I want to ask you is that, of course, I've done some research, seeing what you do. I mean, the first thing is Mission Pro Wrestling, which that is huge because we know that promotion is like boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about that later on here on the program. But I'm just going to ask you probably as far as wrestling, what got you, like, what I always call it the wrestling bite. What bit you where you were like, man, I got to pursue this?
Yeah, so I actually love that question. And it's kind of not really a long story, but I'll make it short and sweet. So whenever I was, I think, 10 or 11 years old, I was at my friend's house and I was just scrolling through, the channels and stuff, and it was Monday Night Raw. And I had saw the Bella Twins on there whenever they had their little feud where they were arguing and they hated each other. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually like super entertaining. So I started watching that, and my mom and my dad, they were just like, what in the world? Like, why are you watching wrestling? Like, they're not huge fans at all. Like, they think it's ridiculous, and that's fine. No hate, whatever. But so I would just watch wrestling every week. And then I ended up buying tickets to a Monday Night Raw show. And I ended up buying my mom and my dad one too. So we all went. And then I got there and I was like, oh my God, like this is so cool. Like I want to be a part of this one day. So initially I wanted to be a wrestler. And then I was just like, like whatever. Like maybe if I'm just into the business, whatever. So I turned 18, and then I start going to like some wrestling promotions near me, And then I started dating my current boyfriend now, Axton Ray. And I had been traveling with him for almost 2 years now, going to shows. And he's actually the one that encouraged me to do announcing, because I actually used to like play around and announce, as funny as that may sound. And he was like, Haley, like you actually have like a really good voice for this. Like, why don't you do announcing? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I could try it. And I was like, I don't know, like if I'd be comfortable doing it, because I like to think that I'm shy, but then again, I'm like, no, no, girl, like you're not shy at all. So, in December of last year, actually, I think like maybe 6 months ago, 5 months ago, I was at a show here in Bristol. It's called Imperial Pro Wrestling. The promoter is Rodney Lewis Freeman. Shout out to him, by the way. And he was like, let's put you on. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I knew 2 days before, it was 2 days before I knew I was gonna be announcing that show, and I was freaking out. So ever since then I've been announcing, and I didn't realize like how I don't want to like pride myself and be like how big I've gotten, but like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just the opportunities that I've gotten, like I'm so grateful for, and I never would have imagined that like I would have been going to the places that I'm going to like this early on. So
Well, so first and foremost, you got bit by the wrestling bite, and some people would probably think, nah, I, I'm tempted, like kind of going in and out of the door.
mm-hmm.
I not do it, but you did it, because as we all know, wrestling, it's not for everyone. It's tough, but you took the initiative and said, F it, I'm gonna go do it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you said you practiced. Like, did when you start really getting into the groove of pretty much starting to get your how you ring announce pretty much, did you like look in the mirror or like a phone? People do it differently when they practice, and I've always heard the way to do it is to look in the mirror. So how did Haley Ray like start to get her sizzle on?
So honestly, it would just be me and Axton in the car, or just like we would be in the kitchen or something. And I honestly like do not know how the conversations were brought up. I really don't. But I don't know. I think it was just like he would start like playing around, like announcing too, because I forget the announcer that we were trying to impersonate or whatever. But yeah, I would honestly just look at him and just be like, in the following content, like, like I would just do those things. I've done it in the mirror before, but that was after Axton was like, Haley, like you're actually good, like you could actually do these things. And I was like, I don't know. So
But that's really cool how you guys being a team where it's always when you're with somebody, they bring the best out of each other. And he did that.
mm-hmm.
He saw that, because I think maybe there's in a case we're in a relationship where we're doing relationship talk here in the ropes. I'm not an expert at it, but I'm gonna try. But how people, in whether they're married or not, they can bring like a talent out that the person never saw it. And you was like, oh shit. So
Yeah, it was. I'm happy that I did it, obviously, because like I'm in the place that I'm at now. But yeah, it was just honestly like so quick with it too. Because like I said, it was. I knew like I think it was 2 days before that Imperial show. They literally just told me, they're like, hey, like you need to do this. I think their announcer canceled or something, so like they needed one, and Axton like went to Roddy, and he was like, hey, like Haley can do it, and like didn't even like ask me or anything. And I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. So, and I was not like, I mean, I was prepared, but like I didn't even have note cards with me, because I didn't know what to do. Like I had no experience. And then they, thank goodness they had note cards there, by the way. But yeah, it was a good little experience.
Well, by you being on the show, you've already gained a fan in your boy Ty Asbury. But everybody who watching the show live right now, it's like, yeah, she's really doing big things. And when I saw your resume, Mission Pro Wrestling and Imperial Pro Wrestling, I'm like, damn, like she's really building a resume. And when you like, if you guys are together sleeping, like, how has it really hit you yet? Like, damn, I'm a part of pro wrestling, because it's sometimes like something that's so good, you're kind of like in that days where I can't believe I'm freaking doing this.
Mm-hmm. There are so actually the first time that like I actually realized like, oh my god, like this is real, like I could actually, go somewhere with this, was whenever I was flown out to Texas for Mission Pro, because first of all, I had never been on a plane before. I had never flown. And then like whenever I got to do that and like I got to Texas, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Like this is insane, because I had only done shows around this area. Cause I think that I did, I was doing Imperial, and I think I did an AML show, and I did a Joe Kazana promotion show. So I didn't have many shows under my belt before I went to Texas for the first time. And but whenever I got flown out, that was the time that I realized, I was like, oh my God, like this is crazy. And that's whenever I realized that. So,
well, you had two good things going. First, you were going to Mission Pro Wrestling, run by the great Thunder Rosa, and you were on a plane. So you're getting the best of both worlds. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how the plane food was, but you know, you're getting the best of both worlds.
It was exciting being on the. So I had that night. Okay, I was at a Joe Kazana promotion show, and his shows they're based like in the Knoxville area. So I had to tell the person that was sponsoring me, I was like, I need to fly out of Atlanta. And because the reason for that was Axton was in New Jersey that Saturday that I was in Texas, and then he had to be in Atlanta for a show. So I was like, well, I'll just fly, from Atlanta, have my car there. So I was freaking out because I left right after that Joe Kazana show, and I was like, oh my God, like I have to fly by myself. So like anxiety was high. But I get there and I was like, okay, like I get through everything. And like whenever you have to fly for the first time and you're by yourself, like me anyways, I get so much anxiety, and I'm like, oh my God, like I hope I make my flight. Like I hope I'm not late. But I got there early. I got to my gate. I got on the plane. The flight was awesome. And then I landed and all was well.
Yeah, I do remember. I'm gonna make this real quick. Like I remember the first time I flew, it was to went to LA, left from Philadelphia, and I kind of went to Chickies and Pete's in the Philly airport and kind of had some wine and winded up, and I needed that to get on the plane. So
Yeah.
it was, but it was really cool. The first time flying is cool, and Haley, I'm gonna tell you, people watching the show, the pandemic's crazy, but get your ass on a plane because you only live once.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Haley, you've been talking about so many different areas. Like, when you look at the whole world of this area for wrestling may not be as big as this area, you being in, Tennessee, of course. How is the wrestling scene currently there? Like, do you see it booming, or like you look at it and you say like it could use like a little bit of flavor? Like, how do you see that where you started at, in your home area?
Oh, I totally think it's booming. Like we have, we've got, like I said, Imperial Pro Wrestling is in Bristol, and then Innovate Wrestling is in Kingsport, and Kingsport is about 30 minutes away from Bristol. And then also, Axton runs a promotion called Pile Driver Pro Wrestling, and we are running in Elizabethton, Tennessee, and that's 30 minutes away from here. So we have plenty. Yeah, we've got plenty of shows around here, and they're all great. Like the ones that we go to are awesome. So I think the East Tennessee area, we're booming right now.
So you guys running a promotion together, like, I mean, that right there is like I'm stunned, because I think I'm stunned because it's so really cool that you guys are doing that. And God bless you too for like, not only are you two running a promotion yourselves and you're busy, but you're opening up the door for talent who you guys may want to bring in. So, I got to say this right now. If you're watching, like I said, Haley Ray right now off the top rope live tonight, hit her up with a comment and say, girl, you the bomb. Because like Haley Ray live tonight here on the ropes, leave her a comment on the comment section, because she is doing big things in pro wrestling, and she is just getting damn started, and it's sizzling. Like I got like goosebumps just thinking.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Now me, I like to do my research because I don't want to stink the joint up, and goof a question. But I saw recently you were in an area that I know quite well. You were in good old Atlantic City, New Jersey, and one thing about, I don't know if you know about it, but if you guys ever, looking for bookings, whatever, Atlantic City is a good place for it. It has history of wrestling. AEW was recently there, and have you really gone to Atlantic City much for wrestling shows? I mean, I know you guys are familiar with Jersey, but AC has this history of wrestling too.
So actually, we were in Atlantic City this weekend, and I have never been in that area. I've never been to New Jersey. I've never been up that way. We went because Axton was on GCW this weekend.
Yeah, GCW. I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
and it was so cool. So cool. Um, I would love to go in that area and announce. I would love to go to different places, but yeah, it was a really cool experience. That show was something else. Like it was awesome.
Since you talked about, of course, GCW, I'm gonna bring up a little graphic here on the show, and this is the way we're doing the roast now. Since you mentioned, I'm gonna bring it up now. If you got the call, you can see the graphics there to announce there. What's the biggest attraction for you to go to GCW? I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly just chilling out right now with that because I don't know. I mean, I would obviously like love to be a part of that one day. But I'm just kind of staying back a little bit just to give Axton, I'm just supporting Axton right now with that. If I ever did get a call, like, heck yeah, I'd be there.
Keep thinking about that Little Mix songs. They say, "Hell yeah, I am." But anyway, but it's just like for wrestling today, it's like so many opportunities, especially for females. I mean, because we all know back then, and in truth, it was like a much of a male dominated profession. But with the ladies, you guys have so many chances now. I mean, like what you're doing ring announcing. I mean, you have the ladies, main eventing, and which actually brings me to ask you, Haley, is how do you see the future of women's wrestling ring announcing going? Because I think it's going to be booming. I mean, you're paving the way for the new generation.
I think that women's wrestling itself is just getting bigger and bigger. And that's why I love Mission Pro so much. I was actually talking to the booker for Mission Pro the other day, and I was like, I just love what Mission Pro is about. Because, I mean, it's all about women empowerment. We're showing, what women can actually do in the wrestling business because it's male dominated. If you look at it, like it's always been kind of male dominated. But I think now, the past year or two, like, all these companies has been trying to bring more light to women's wrestling. And once we've done that, as you can see, we can literally see all of the talent that women actually have. And like women have proved themselves. Like we're strong, like we can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if you had the next, well, there's only one Haley Ray. There's never going to be another one. I'm going to say it right now. But if you had a young lady come up to you and said, Haley, can I talk to you for a minute? And you being the cool person you are, you're like, yeah, what do you need? And she's like, I want to be a really great ring announcer just like you. What's one thing of advice you would tell me?
My piece of advice that I would give is just to be fearless.
Yeah.
And go for it. Like if you think that you can do it, like obviously you can, like put your mind to it, like you can do it, but like believe in yourself and don't doubt yourself because there's so many times in my life where I have doubted myself and I don't have that confidence. But now, like being into the business, I have noticed, like Axton's even told me, he's like you have so much more confidence now. Like once you do those things, yeah, like you do these things, you push yourself and like you realize, hey, like I did this. And that builds up so much confidence in you. So yeah, like, just don't have fears and go for it.
Yeah. And I've really learned from, with the pandemic and just how crazy this world can be. And I've really learned that, tomorrow is never a promise. So go for your dreams and do it because the world is crazy. And like you said, you said when you went to that first Monday Night Raw, he was like, F it, I'm going for it. I mean, because we all know wrestling with the travel and everything, but you're doing the biggest thing of all. You're entertaining fans. You're part of the show as well. Ring announcers, you are part of the show just as much the announcers are so and the referee. So you're doing your thing too. And I got to ask you because I've done it before on the show, Have you ever gotten ready for a show to announce the talent coming out and you got the card and you're like, oh, what the hell is their name? And you're kind of like thinking, oh, I'm gonna butcher this word and they're gonna be mad and like
Yeah. Okay, so I'm very Southern, as you can tell by my accent. Like, I'm very Southern, and whenever I went to that first Mission Pro show, the name was in Spanish, and I was like, oh God. Like, I'm literally gonna kill myself. And the funny thing is, I took Spanish. I've taken some Spanish courses in college, and then I ended up withdrawing from one. And I'm like, no, baby, like, not my thing. So I get there, and all these wrestlers, like, they have these crazy awesome names, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, I hope and pray to God like they don't come beat my ass because I butchered their name. But I literally looked up before the show. I was on YouTube, like, looking them up.
do the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, okay, let's see how they pronounce it. So I spent a lot of time before that show doing my research on the wrestlers, making sure I announced them correctly, because they don't like it if you mispronounce their name or stuff like that. Like, no one likes that. So I was like, we're gonna have to get it together. So I pulled through. I did everything correctly. But yeah, I was nervous about that show because I was like, I'm gonna butcher all of this, but I had to just, do my research and listen to YouTube videos.
Well, you did it. It's like bacon. The good was good. You did what you had to do,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, that's why tonight's tagline is the greatest announcement, because you are great at what you do. And you was like, I'm gonna research on YouTube and everything. And Haley, would you recommend? I don't know if you do it, but would you tell people, is it good as being a ring announcer to maybe to tweak like your speech abilities, to take like a course, or just like some tools to get you ready for your show? Was that something you would recommend to people to take like a little, because online courses are like out the wazoo today. I mean, you could take an online course like that. So that's something you would recommend?
Yeah, if people think that's what they need. I am also I don't want to say I'm a musician, but I sang in college. I used to sing in church. So I kind of had like a vocal background. If you don't have a vocal background, I would recommend possibly doing that. But my main thing is watching announcers that have been in WWE, AEW. Like, I would listen to those announcers. That's what I've done. Even here recently, I think it was a week or two ago, I was listening to Lillian Garcia. Yeah. And I was like, okay, because I myself, still to this day, I want to improve, and I will listen to certain announcers just to improve now. And like, that's the thing, like, there's always room for improvement with announcing, because I listened to the footage of my first show, and then I listened to footage from my recent show that I've done, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I have improved a lot. So there's always room for improvement. But yeah, if people think that they need to take a course or something, absolutely. If you have a vocal background, maybe you don't need it, but I would always recommend to everybody to watch your videos on announcers that have been in higher up companies.
I could really tell when you were talking about watching Lillian Garcia, people in WWE, AEW, that, and like you were kind of like not about to get emotional, but confident and like very happy what you're doing. And that pretty much tells to me, and I can tell you're a very humble person, because you respect the people that came before you. And that's really cool. I could just tell, like, man, she really got that passion. And I'm sure, the biggest thing, you said you watch yourself all the time. I would think in wrestling, you never stop learning. You learn every single day, because, like, I guess every show is different.
It is. I mean, and I know I keep talking about Mission Pro Wrestling, but that show was an eye opener for me, because that show it's a very, very awesome show. But I got there, and Thunder Rosa, she has put together the most amazing crew. But whenever I was there, someone was helping me. I forgot who it was, and they were like, "We need you to say this, this, and that." And I got so overwhelmed. But I was like, you know what? I'm in this business now. Like, I need to be prepared for whatever is thrown at me. So after that, I realized how different each show was because every promoter wants something different from you, and they will tell you what they want. So
that's a really cool thing. Now, you of course you announce all the participants about to do the action, and you actually get to sit at ringside and watch the action. So as long as you've been in the business right now, probably what's the first match that comes to mind where you were like off the edge of your chair? You were like, holy like shit, this match is like off the hook. So
this is so funny. Actually, the first match that I can think of right now was at Imperial, and it was just recently, like a week ago. It was a death match.
Ooh.
And people think this is crazy, but death matches are my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
I love them. But yeah, getting to sit at ringside, I wasn't at ringside for that, but like I was there for it. But I literally stood up out of my chair. I was standing the whole time for that match because I was so into it. Like I get into these matches, like I'm just as much of a fan as the people that sit down in the seats and buy tickets. Like I'm there for it too.
Yeah, and that I think by you standing up, seeing that match, the fans probably saw that and like, if Haley's standing up, damn, this is good. Like, like everybody's together and they're witnessing greatness in the ring. So, but now we talked about it, Haley, all show with putting in the hard work, all the traveling. I mean, you're actually helping run your own promotion, which I'm still got goosebumps about. I'm excited for you. But now I'm gonna roll up this graphic, and as we look tonight, of course, the ropes, and we respect what you're doing in the ring. What would be like your greatest like accomplishment as we talk like right now? One accomplishment that like right now that you're very blessed for.
I would say that the biggest accomplishment for me is meeting Thunder Rosa.
Oh yeah.
That and that's my number one right now because I actually met her at my first show that I ever did at Imperial. She was at that show, and that's how I met her. And I was like, she talked to me, and she was like, and I explained to her, I was like, I'm very nervous, like I don't know what I'm doing. And she told me, she was like, Haley, like you look the part. She said, go out there and have confidence in yourself and do the damn thing. And that's what I did. And a few months later, she booked me on her show, and like I'm so grateful for that. Like getting to travel like this has always been a dream of mine, and that's like the thing that I'm very grateful for right now. And it makes me so happy. Like every time I get back from a Mission Pro show, I'm just like I cannot get a smile off of my face. Like I'm just I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you did it again, Haley. Like you just went and did this again. Like congratulations.
That was probably cool. Now, when Thunder Rosa reached out to you to do the first ever Mission Pro show, like was it like an email or text message? Like it's like you getting like that job and you're like, I kind of don't want to look, but you kind of got your eye open halfway. I'm sure that was like balloons and like holy shit, like.
Oh yeah, so it was on Instagram actually. Nice. And I remember getting that message. It was, when was it? It was late December, I believe. And I called one of my friends. I'm like, oh my God, like Thunder Rosa just messaged me. Like I'm freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, like she just invited me to come announce a show. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't know what I'm going to do. Like I'm so happy. Obviously I'm going to go. But yeah, the excitement was there and it did not leave for a while.
Yeah, that's like, that's the one I've had Thunder Rosa on the show before. And like, even me, I was like, man, Thunder Rosa, like she's the champ right now, and like I said, much respect to her, what she's doing and running her promotion and what you're doing as well. Now, Haley,
she's amazing.
She definitely is amazing, and all these places quite well, and you announce for all these places. And looking at the graphic here, like what would be a difference between each promotion in terms of announcing? When you go to each show for these places, do you announce differently, or is this the same? It's the same way to present the talent out in the ring.
Mm-hmm. So AML is a very, very big deal as well. I think I was as nervous for AML as I was Mission Pro because AML is very well known and the promoters are awesome. Tracy and Brian, shout out to you. You guys are amazing. Their show is obviously it's filmed, and that I have to be very professional, and that's what I've learned is professionalism in this business because you always have to be professional. I think for the other shows like Imperial, JCP, same for them. Like everything is filmed, like I'm on camera, so I wouldn't say there's too much of a difference of what I do in the ring. I know for like I said earlier in this podcast, every promoter wants something different, and they'll tell you what they want. So I announce the same. It's just whatever they tell me to do that day, I have to do that, But
now, of course, Haley, we all know this is your first time on the ropes, first ever podcast, but I got to put you on the spot. So every show, I put every guest on the spot, of course, a question where you really got to think. Some talent are like, damn, Ty. Some are like, oh, but you ready for the segment? Because this is your first time on the show, so I got to do it to you too. So you ready?
Okay.
All right, let's roll it.
Damn, Ty. That's good.
That's what I'm talking about. So the question is that you are, of course, announcing a show. You're promoting, just you. So what would you name the event using one of your favorite words in wrestling?
Oh Lord, that is it. You did put me on the spot. I'm so terrible with these things. Oh God. Lord, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm stuck. That one put me on the spot. Axton asks me these things all the time. He's like, "What do you think we should name this show? What do you?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
He's so good about that stuff. I'm not creative at all. I would probably use something like a wrestling move into that. Oh God, I don't know. I'm sorry, I disappointed you.
Like I said, I'm glad it looked like you were definitely having fun with it. I'll throw it out there. Just call it like slam action something. So we can throw something out
I'm
there.
so sorry to the people who are watching. I know I disappointed y'all. I'm so not creative. That is a downfall about me. People ask me those things all the time, especially Axton. He literally he'll be running a show or something and he'll be like, "Hey, I need you to help me with what to name." And I'm like, "You're asking the wrong person because I'm an idiot over here with this kind of stuff. Like, I don't know."
I'll say this. If Axton ever wants to come on the show, I'll ask him that question, and I'm sure me and him have a ball with that. So
he'll answer it. He'll have something right off the bat for you.
Now, Haley, of course, I'm glad you're having fun on the show. And as we wrap up this, of course, I call it the greatest announcement tonight here off the ropes because you were on the show. That's what the announcement is. Now, I want to bring this clip up because this clip will start. You're busy. I'm sure you got an upcoming schedule coming up as we roll into the summer, thank God. So this clip is about I saw these two shows coming up. We have one, of course, in May. Then we got one, actually both in May. One's this Friday, of course. Now, looking at these cards, what should fans expect from these cards? They look pretty damn good.
Yeah, so the one on the right, JCP, those are always so much fun, and I totally recommend anyone in the area to go to these shows. There's always something unexpected on his shows, so I'm not going to say anything else about that. You just need to come to it. And the one on the left is Pile Driver Pro. The promoter is my boyfriend Axton, and I help him with that. This show is also going to be one for the books. Definitely don't want to miss that as well. We have Darian Nicole Stratton, aka Nicole Payne. She is coming back to wrestle. She has been well known in this area for a long time, and she is actually known for her death matches. So she's going to be there. We have other stars like Jason Kincaid, Timmy Lou Retton. We've got Ella Envy. She's awesome too. Like, we've got so many names coming to this show. Definitely you don't want to miss out, and you need to get your tickets. So
now, outside of those two events, what else is also on your busy schedule? Because, girl, you have a busy schedule.
Yeah, I have Mission Pro actually in less than 2 weeks. I'll be going back to, I think, Conroe, Texas, and I think I have another AML show this. I do have an AML show this month. I have to look at my book. I had to go get a planner to put all my bookings in because now I'm like all over the place. But you know, if you would ask me a few months ago, I'd been like, yeah, I've got this one this day, this one that day. But those are the shows I have coming up, I believe. Obviously, Joe Kazana this Friday. There's an Innovate show this month too. Yeah.
Man, wrestling is it's like a buffet, man. You get all your choices, all the flavors and everything. So, but like I said, I mean, Haley, I just want to say that, of course, the number one thing, like I said, I stumped you tonight, but you were smiling about it, so that's good. So from 1 to 10, would you ever come back on Off the Top Rope again and party it up with your boy Ty Asbury?
Absolutely. Of course, I'll be here anytime. It's been a good experience. Great experience.
I really definitely appreciate that. And I'm going to say first and foremost, from now until moving forward, good luck in whatever all the things you're doing. I'm proud of you, and the sky is the limit for you. And as always, just keep believing in yourself and keep on fighting, because that's what got you here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, the one and the only, I'm going to say the greatest announcement tonight was Haley Ray was on that. I'm your boy Ty Asbury. We're going to roll out the episode with some, of course, sizzling music. Have a great night as always. God bless. Love yourself. We're out of here. Peace.
The Ropes Media.